Hello everybody, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition. Now that we've done a how to play, I didn't do a playthrough, maybe we could still do a playthrough, but I figured I'd bring you guys a review of Unmatched by Restoration Game and Mondo Games. This is a 2 to 4 player skirmish game that takes 20 to 40 minutes. And the age is 9 plus, so 9 and up. And a lot of times with the age, like we've talked about before, you could probably go a little bit under. Really depends on who. Sorry, my dog's running around. Really depends on who's playing, what their understanding level is, things like that. But all right, so I figured I'd just bring you guys some of the things I like, some cons that people might find, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So in Unmatched, you are battling against a variety of historical, film and legendary people, such as Bruce Lee. Where's my Bruce Lee? I can't find him. Bruce Lee, right? Alice in Wonderland. You have King Arthur, Sinbad. There's a whole bunch of them, right? And they're battling it out against each other. And the way you battle through that is through a hand of cards. So you have cards. I grabbed more than I should have in my hand, but you have cards, right? So you have a hand of cards. And on your turn, you get some things you get to do. You have to take at least 2 actions, which forces the gameplay to move forward, right? So if you watch the how to play, you know it is to maneuver, which is draw a card and move if you choose. Scheme, which allows you, which of course I grabbed no scheme cards, which allows you to play a scheme card, or attack, which allows you to attack another player. So through that mechanic, you're able to fight each other. And you're able to play as just a large swath of not historical, though Beowulf is based on a real person, King Arthur is based on a real person, Sinbad's based on a real person, and actually Alice from Alice in Wonderland is based on a real person, if you know your history about some of that stuff. So is Robin Hood, right? But what it is they're myths and legends and things from popular culture. Really, that's how you can let things from popular culture. And you could duke it out with a friend, and you could duke it out with up to 3 other friends, right? And you could play as teams, 2 people on one team, 2 people on the other, or you could do a free-for-all where 4 people are fighting each other. And it still works the same. You're playing through a hand of cards. You decide what you're going to do. You decide, oh, I'm going to attack. Your opponent gets to defend if they can, if they have a card. And there's a little bit of tension there when you get ready to flip the cards over. And you go, I'm attacking for 3. And then if you have certain things that happen during combat, which the cards will tell you, then you can say, I'm attacking for 3. And then this one says, during combat, the opposing fighter, if the opposing fighter is a hero, their card value is 5 instead of 3. So you get to attack for 3, right? There's a little bit of tension in there. Sometimes you don't have a card to put down to defend, right? Sometimes you don't have cards to scheme. And the game forces you to take 2 actions, right? To decide if you're going to, really to speed up the game and force you into combat. And once your deck runs out, there's no getting new cards. Every time you need to pull a card based on what your card tells you to do, or the maneuver action, you lose 2 points of 2 points, right? 2 of your points, 2 of your health, right? And it's called being exhausted. So this game forces you to battle, right? I've played through this game a handful of times, and there are a couple times where I'm trying to cat and mouse it, and there are characters that are built to cat and mouse it. I'm trying to cat and mouse it, but I realize eventually my deck's going to run out, and I'm going to be screwed if I have to pull a card because I'm going to lose some health, right? So let's talk about some of the things that people might like about the game, right? If you remember, I talked about how to pick a game, right? When you're first getting into gaming, right? And that's looking at theme, looking at player counts, right? Is it a theme you like? Is it player count that works for you and your group? Looking at the value, the cost, right? And in some ways it's the value. Is it worth what you're paying? You can also look at how often do you think you're going to play the game, but also mechanics, right? And so what I would say is for things you might like the theme. You might like the theme of one of these, right? So these are the big box ones. They have 4 characters each. This is just 1 character, but these are 2 character, I call them expandalones. I think I stole it from somewhere, to be honest. I didn't make it up. I know I read it somewhere, but expandalones. but they only have two characters, but you can, and they have a board, so you can play with just two characters. You can fight each other. So you might look at this and go, I like Little Red Riding Hood, or I like Beowulf, like myself. I like Jurassic Park. I want to be InGen, or I want to be the Raptors. Or you could say, yeah, I like King Arthur. Me too. Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I like Sinbad. I want to fight with Medusa, right? Or Cobble and Fog. You have Sherlock Holmes in there, who comes with his sidekick Watson, right? So one of the great things that people might like about this is the theme. Oh, and Robin Hood and Bigfoot over here. And this is the first one I actually got to see if I even like the game. So some people might like the theme, right? Game mechanics. You're using the cards to fight, to do things. You get a movement based on what your character's movement says it can be. You get a movement, but you're playing cards to get through that. So do you like that mechanic? Do you like miniatures? Do you like the mix of miniatures, or like Medusa, her harpies, her sidekicks are just tokens, right? You get the same with InGen. You get the same with Dracula and the Three Sisters. They're just tokens, right? So you might decide that you like that, or maybe you don't like it. But I think it's a fun mechanic that putting down the card in the battle sequence, you find yourself going, I hope I put down the right card. Even when I was learning the game and playing by myself, I'd forget sometimes what card I put down. And I'd put down the other one before I flipped them, like, oh, I hope I put the right ones down, and I'll flip them over, right? So that mechanic to me is fun. Other people might not find that mechanic fun. You can look at how many people, who you're going to play this with. I'm sure when Resvon gets here, when she can look at the card and she could read the back of the card, sorry, now my dog's playing with her squeaky toy. When Resvon looks at the cards and can be able to read them instead of playing over the internet through video chat and stuff, I'm sure she'll enjoy playing this, right? I could be wrong, but I do know Damon, which you guys have met, enjoys playing it. I brought the Bigfoot Robin Hood one, and we had a good time. So I know I have people that are willing to play it. So that is one of the pluses, that it could be two players. It could be three players. It could be four players. That's a plus. It's something I like about it. Another thing that you can look at is price. I think they're decently priced. I think, because I'm always finding things on sale. I want to say the two players about 25. The four players 40. I think it's a fair price for what you get. Nice packaging inside, nice art, right? Something you might like. If you like the art, let's grab some of these cards. You can see it on the box, but the art, it's a nice art, right? And it has a feel. All the art has a feel to it, and there's a color scheme, right? So it has nice art and things like that. Another thing that people might really like about this game, beyond theme and mechanics, is the ease of playing. Oh, that was the other thing when you're looking at new games, is the ease of how easy is it to teach and stuff like that. The ease of playing, right? And one thing I found really great about this game is you get a card for each character that you're going to play. And on the card, it gives you a bunch of information. It gives you their name, their attack, melee, or ranged, their health, their special ability that they get, their movement, and for the movement for their sidekick's health, all that kind of stuff is on this card. So you have a quick reference card that you can look down at and see everything you need to know, right? And like I mentioned before, it's just there's a large grouping of characters that you can pit against each other. And there's more coming. They recently announced a Battle Box 2, and I can't remember all the people. The only one that keeps popping into my head is our Battle of Legends Volume 2 is Bloody Mary, which would be interesting to see how they do that, right? If you play 3 cards in a row, does she get this major attack or something, right? Just coming out of the mirror. But they also, this year, there's going to be Marvel stuff. So I know there's going to be a Deadpool single character. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I know there's going to be a Daredevil, Elektra, Bullseye set. So instead of 4, it's 3. And like I mentioned before, that might be because they have to pay for the rights to use those characters, so you don't get as many in the box. We'll talk about price at that point. There's going to be Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, yes please, and Luke Cage, which is cool too, but if you know me, Moon Knight and Ghost Rider, especially Ghost Rider, when I was an early comic book reader, Ghost Rider was my favorite, and Moon Knight I've always liked. Like the idea of, he's kind of like Batman, but he's crazy, right? Or a split personality. And then if you dig deeper, he was in the Marine Corps, he was a mercenary, all this stuff, just checking boxes for me. So Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Deadpool, those are probably some of my top 3 Marvel characters. So you get all those characters. So something you might like is the plethora, right? The large amount of characters that you're going to get. And it seems like they're going to keep coming out because this game is staying popular, and Mondo and Restoration Games are bringing out more and more stuff, and they have stuff scheduled for the future. Um, so also, well, things you might find that you don't like about it, things you might not like, or a player might not like about this game. Um, it took me a second to get used to the art style. I'll admit that. I like it now. I notice how it's cohesive. It's not bad art. It just originally wasn't. When I was seeing pictures of the cards, originally I was like, I don't know if I like that. Right? Is that something I like? That's not the color scheme at all. I just wasn't sure. Right? And then the other thing is, I'm a fan of miniatures. Right? So when the harpies are all tokens, I'm like, oh, the harpies are tokens. Can't we have harpies too? Right? Or the Three Sisters. I probably love the Three Sisters more than Dracula, but we won't talk about all that. I probably love the Three Sisters more than Dracula, but no miniatures. Or the Outlaws, the Merry Men with Robin Hood, right? I'd like to have those. Wiglaf with Beowulf, right? But you don't get them. So you might not like the mix of those two. You might not like, or a player might not like a combat game, but that's not what I'm looking for. A player versus player, in a sense, skirmish. There's the word I'm looking for. Thinking. Um, you might not like a skirmish game. If that's not your thing, this probably won't be a game for you, right? Check it out at a game shop where you can rent games. A friend has it. Give it a chance. And the other thing that people might not like is the player count, right? Because from everything I've read and listened to or heard, is that 2 is the sweet spot, um, but it plays up to 4. So you might think, why am I going to spend? I can't remember if it's $30 or $40. I want to say it's maybe $39.99, so $40. Do I want to spend $40 for a big box of characters when only me and one other person can play? Do I want to spend that money? So you might not like that, but overall, there's lots of things to like about the game, right? And the things to not like, oh, and I don't have one out here. The things not to like about the game, there's not that many. It really just depends on what kind of games you like. And so if you're getting into games, you want to give it a try. I've never played a skirmish game. Get a small box, right? You keep your eye out. You could easily get them for under $20. I think it's $24.95 is their cost. Even at $24.95, it's not that bad. If you watch some of my other videos where I was talking about websites to go to get great deals on games, I want to say this one I got for $15. Is Game Nerds or Miniature Market. Those are the 2 I check all the time, one of the 2. But all of these I've gotten for under 20. These ones I've gotten for under 30. And this one I think I almost played full, a couple dollars under. But maybe give it a try, right? But if you've played skirmish and you know you don't like skirmish, then it might not be a thing for you. But as it just popped in my head, one other thing that I really like, beyond these player guides, right? These reference cards that give you all the information, and on the back it tells you what you do on your turn. It also tells you your card hand. It also reminds you that you have to take 2 actions, right? It tells you that you have to draw a card because once you run out of cards, you can lose points. But movement's optional. It tells you that kind of stuff. But the actual manual inside that tells you how to play the game is well done from a technical writing viewpoint. So writing for technical spaces, user manuals, anything like that. I mean, it could be anything in technical space, but user manuals and stuff like that. Visually, it's appealing. Visually, it's easy to get through. And it's also easy to understand what's going on. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. And the other thing that I'd love to give kudos for, and it's something I kind of liked about the game, is that each one is tailored towards whoever is in that set. Now, some of them have special things. The Beowulf map has doors. Beowulf has rage that builds up. And is it Bigfoot? No. It's this one over here, the Jurassic Park. There's traps that you can set, right? You're playing with multiple heroes. You have 3 raptors, right, instead of 1 hero and some sidekicks. So there is a small section in each book, except for the first box, that gives you a this is using this set. Here's the special things you need to know, right? It has that in there, but overall, it tells you the same thing. But the examples they use are geared towards whatever comes in the box, which I really love. It's not generally you know how to do this. Now here's an example, right? In this game, this is how you do it. In the base game, right? Or the game, they'll just say the game, this is how you do it. And then there's special cards or specific cards to that set because it's not the base game and it's expansion. I really like that. And just an end note, I like the inserts. I should have left one of these boxes open. They fit the miniature, they fit the tokens, they fit the cards, they fit the map, everything perfectly. They're labeled inside so you can see where things go, and it's just really great. So overall, is a game, like I said, I think it's worth the money if you want to take a shot at it, right? But overall, with every game, some people are going to like things that I don't like, and some people are not going to like things that I like. And that's one of the reasons we talked about before, really not going to do a rating system and reviews. At least at this point, I don't think I want to. We started off doing it. Resma and I talked about it. Numbers change, right? And what does it really matter? What I like, you cannot like, and cool, whatever. And what I don't like, you can like, and cool, whatever. So we figure what we'll do to you is we'll just bring to you things that we see, that we like, and things that we could see that people might not like, or that maybe we don't like, right? But overall, I think that Unmatched is a fun game. I've played probably about 50 to 60%. I still got a lot of it came at once. After I played one, I started looking for deals. But I like it. And also, man, I should have went back to like it. Maybe one day I'll have a script. I feel like I don't want to use scripts. I feel like I just want to talk to you guys. Rezwan just likes to talk, right? She's a little shy. We'll get her to talk more as time goes on. Maybe when she's here, we'll get her to talk a lot more. But the decks of cards, each character has their own thing. What the cards say tie into them. How they move around ties into them. I played with earlier today. I actually played just to get my mind around what I like. Maybe things that people, well, let's say what things are people can see as they like and what things they don't like. Just ideas about the game. I played the Jurassic Park one, and it was really close, right? And it was me playing by myself because no one else is here. But the Velociraptor, I keep calling them Velociraptors, the Raptors try to attack and gang up on you. They try to sneak around you and try to gang up. And there's things that can help you move raptors around, right? It feels like you're playing as a raptor. In the engine, you feel like you're playing as the human hunter-esque type because you have traps you can set. And I was constantly trying to move around the board and force the raptors into these traps, right? So I'd get into one corner and do a standoff, and then I had a card I could play, and all my InGen guys can scatter, and we scattered and tried to move, try to get them to come towards us and throw some traps out. So I hit another trap, which slows them down. Bigfoot is very much a rush forward, and I talked about this in the How to Play video. Bigfoot's a very much rush forward, smash things, fun, right? I wonder if Hulk will kind of work the same way, but we'll see. Run and smash things. Robin Hood is what I call a fart ninja. He attacks and poof, he's gone into the forest, right? He has the ability to attack, and as soon as his attack's over, he can move 2 spaces away, getting him further away, and he's ranged, right? So they feel like the characters. Little Red Riding Hood is very tricky. She has a lot of little tricks in her sleeve, more things she can pull out of her basket. Beowulf is all about rage, right? And if you've read the Beowulf saga or the epic poem of Beowulf, you would know that he's about rage, right? And power and glory, right? And Wiglaf, I feel like they kind of made him weak in this. Wiglaf isn't weak. I mean, if you look at more modern interpretations, they kind of make him like a I like Beowulf kind of person. But he's not. But Beowulf definitely feels like Beowulf. But like I said, to wrap this up, because I really wanted to do a short video. I promise. I really tried to do a short video. I think it's a fun game. I enjoy the skirmish. I enjoy playing. I do like big groups, but it's also fun to play just one-on-one. So I enjoy it. Now, if you don't like skirmish, the art style is not for you, you're not a fan of miniatures, which I've come to learn some people aren't fans of miniatures. It seems odd, very But maybe you're not a fan of miniatures or the mix of miniatures and tokens, whatever it is, right? But for me, overall, I enjoy playing the game. And one of the things I thought about doing in the review, and this will be the first time, well, no, I did it with Splendor, with Damon and Morgan, but I would play this again, right? I would definitely play this again, and I would also definitely ask to play it again. And so I think in that there is a difference. Playing it again means someone brings it out and they're like, hey, do you want to play? She's like, yeah, sure, I'll play it. Asking to play it means you've thought about playing it. You want to play it. Now's your chance to get it on the table and play it. So in both those categories, I personally would play it and I would ask to play it again. So I think I would end that as my overall review of the game. I would play it again and I would ask to play it again, which seems a bit obvious since I've collected up so much of the stuff so far, right? So that's the review of Unmatched by Mondo and Restoration Games. I hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, help us grow this coalition, and we're slowly growing. You guys are slowly joining in, and it's great. But help us grow this coalition by liking, commenting. Have you played the game? Do you have any questions, right? Do you not like the game? Why? And also subscribing to the channel. I was thinking about subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, hit the bell notification. You'll find out when we put out a new video. But beyond that, my name's Steven with Cardboard Coalition. See you later, everybody.